Okay, I want to talk to you guys about muscle memory. I've heard a lot of people use the term in several different ways, and I just thought it'd be important for you guys to understand what it is really and how you can apply it to your training. So first we're going to say, what is it? And at the end we're going to tell you how you can use it to increase the results you're getting from your training. One, what muscle memory is it? Muscles don't actually have any memory at all. I mean, you can't tell your bicep to remind you to call your mom and then expect a result from it, expect a response. That's just ridiculous though, and I really haven't heard that. But number two, some people say, you know, I'm going to start training again. I'm not as strong as I used to be back in the day, but my muscles, they remember how strong I was, so I'll get stronger really quick as soon as my muscles remember that. And while you could make a case that your muscles can remember or have been habituated to a certain adaptation pattern, and that maybe the adaptation process might be sped along because you've already gone through it, that's not traditionally, in my opinion, how the term muscle memory should or really is used correctly. Now, what muscle memory is? Any movement requires your muscles to be recruited, and that requires a recruitment pattern. And a recruitment pattern can be different based on which muscles are recruited, one, and two, can the signal given to the muscles. So that can be differed by one, the amplitude or strength of the signal, two, the duration of that signal, and three, the frequency of each impulse that's given to it. So basically, that has to do with motor learning. So when you learn to walk, that's a certain recruitment pattern and a certain amount of coordination, inter and intramuscular coordination is involved in learning how to walk. You can learn how to jog, you can learn how to skip, you can learn how to leap, you can learn how to do a dunk, do a reverse dunk. I mean, you can learn how to do all these things. These are different skills. And in a way, we call that muscle memory when it's sort of an automatic process. For example, boxers, when you see them training, they're often going through slow motions, training a certain neural pattern so that it's automatic when they're in the ring or in a fight. And you know, anything can happen, but their muscles and their body is trained automatically, has a memory, so to speak, to do the right patterns and to throw a punch a certain way and to keep their guard up a certain way. Well, the same thing I believe is true with a vertical jump. You know, just as walking is different than jogging and jogging is different than sprinting, they actually are a different recruitment pattern, meaning that things are recruited at different amplitudes, frequencies, durations. The inter and intramuscular coordination is different. So also a low jump and what I call a maximal vertical jump are going to be two different skills. So we talked about that in other videos, but here we're just really hitting home that your highest jump is a different skill than a lower jump. So what you want to learn and train as far as muscle memory is your maximal vertical jump. Let me give you another example here. Throwing a baseball. This is maybe an example you've heard me talk about. You could throw a baseball very hard with your strong or your normal hand. Why is that? Is it because you're stronger? Is it? Well, really it's because you've established a groove. You've established a strong muscle memory and you've established that skill from one hand. If you're able to train your off hand as often as you train your other hand, you would find that soon you would be able to use the strength you had much more efficiently because of that skill that you would establish. And this is what muscle memory is. So while your muscles don't remember how strong you were and then start being stronger because you remind them, you know, how strong you are, what they will do is they'll remember a certain pattern. And because you have kind of owned or you're familiar with that pattern, your body is able to send a better and more efficient neural impulse, and you're able to coordinate your body more efficiently in order to use the strength that you already have. So how does this apply to your training? Well, in your training, you want to establish muscle memory for a maximal vertical leap. So as often as possible, even daily, I'm not saying you need to exhaust yourself with maximal vertical leaps every single day, but this is something your body needs to think of as second nature. So your sport-specific leaps, whether it's volleyball, whether it's soccer, whether it's basketball, whether it's long triple jump, whatever that muscle pattern is, it needs to be very ingrained and it needs to be maintained. So if you don't have those muscle patterns already, you need to establish them. And if you have them, you need to deepen and maintain them so that you can get the best performance possible out of those specific movements. So this is kind of muscle memory 101, what it is, what it isn't, and how to apply it to your training. If you have questions, leave them at our channel page, or you can comment below, but really it's best to leave them on the channel page or someplace in a central location, or else I try to get to them all, but sometimes I just can't get to them all. And if you like this video, if you like the way I'm kind of going about this video thing, let me know. Comment if you can, subscribe so that you can get answers to more of your questions. I plan on making this a regular thing, and I really like to explain the principles to you guys, because the better you know the principles, the more free you are to create and to be autonomous with your own training programs, to be able to assess and know whether a certain training principle or technique is really legit, because you know the principles. You're not just asking someone what the techniques specifically are, although you need those, and of course we go over all those in detail in the Jump Manual, but I like to tell you guys the principles, and so far you like to learn them. So I'll talk to you soon.
Something